The medium of games has become a lot more mature in the last couple of decades, and fans have been treated to wondrous narratives and scenes that can be an absolute roller coaster of emotion at times. These are the missions that one remembers long after the credits roll, and on that note, here are 10 of the most emotionally wrecking missions in video games. Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission.
Everybody hold on, gonna be a wild ride! Give him hell, girl.
Mass Effect 2 is a massive space opera that excellently combines BioWare's storytelling chops with bombastic third-person shooter gameplay, culminating in a thrilling experience through and through. Its finale, the aptly named Suicide Mission, is easily one of the biggest highlights of the experience, which sees Shepard's crew infiltrate the base of Collectors. It's a complex mission that can go in many different ways depending upon the choices you make, and it's very likely that you will lose a couple or even all of your crewmates in this daring mission. Since Mass Effect 2 is all about building these relationships throughout the experience, departing with your virtual buddies in such a fashion makes this mission a roller coaster of emotion. Halo Reach, Lone Wolf. While Bungie's swan song Halo Reach doesn't star series protagonist Master Chief, his absence doesn't really hold much impact on this emotionally charged narrative. The entirety of Reach's campaign sees Noble Team trying to save Reach and humanity from the clutches of the Covenant, which culminates in one final battle for the city. Members of the Noble Team keep on falling one by one as they try to escort high-ranking UNSC officials like Dr. Halsey and Captain Keyes to the Pillar of Autumn. Our protagonist, Noble Six, remains the last standing Spartan on Reach after Pillar of Autumn departs. He fights until his very last breath, but finally succumbs to the overwhelming enemy forces. We get one last glimpse of this brave soldier's cracked helmet before the credits roll, and we wouldn't blame you if you also got teary-eyed during this sequence. Max Payne: The American Dream. Remedy's 2001 breakout hit Max Payne is a game that doesn't shy away from stepping into darker territory with its narrative, which was pretty bold for its time. The game opens up with Max Payne apparently living the American dream, but those dreams are soon shattered when he returns to his home only to find that a bunch of armed junkies have stormed the place. As you make your way towards the bedroom, you find spots and splashes of blood along the walls of bathrooms and corridors as they prepare you for the grand reveal. Upon finally reaching the bedroom, it's revealed that Payne's baby daughter and wife have been brutally murdered by these drug addicts, and Max promptly falls down on the ground in remorse. It's a really depressing opening, and one that perfectly sets the tone for this noir narrative. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, shining lights even in death.
I'm no snail.
Damn it.
Kojima's swan song, Metal Gear, is a game that excellently adapts the game's stealth mechanics for an open-world setting, and the best part is that the narrative doesn't really get affected as a result of this transition. In fact, it's one of the most emotionally charged narratives of the series, and Shining Lights, even in death, has to be the perfect example of this. The mission sees Venom Snake entering a ruined facility that's filled with infected diamond dogs, and your job is to eliminate these infected. Of course, having to gun down your own staff is pretty depressing, and you can actually see Venom Snake looking away while shooting to express his remorse at this prospect. But you absolutely need to kill those infected if you want to move on, which makes this linear section a train wreck of emotions.
We'll make diamonds from their ashes. Take them into battle with us.
A shining light to our brothers in arms.
even in death.
We are diamond dogs.
Red Dead Redemption 2, Chapter 6, Red Dead Redemption.
Come on, brother. Let's go.
Give me a sec.
Come on. Push, Arthur.
Thank you.
Arthur!
Rockstar's latest release is an emotional tale about the gradual fall of the Vanderlyn gang in a rapidly changing Wild West. And at the epicenter of this enormous tale lies the charismatic cowboy that is Arthur Morgan. Over the course of the 6 massive episodes, you get to see different shades of Arthur's personality and how he changes for the better after getting to know his incurable affliction. Chapter 6's Red Dead Redemption marks the end of the road for Arthur, where he's beaten to death by Micah, all while Dutch watches the two duke it out on the side of a cliff. Once that's done, Arthur barely lives to see the sun rise one more time before succumbing to his injuries, and it's a heartbreaking scene that's masterfully executed by spot-on motion capture, excellent writing, and Michelangelo's melancholic tunes. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Hela's Chamber. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a deep dive into the twisted psyche of Senua, a woman suffering from extreme psychosis. Throughout the course of this dark adventure, we see Senua overcoming the many trials and tribulations required to reach the darkest depths of hell. In a way, this mission marks a change of heart for Senua as she stops fearing the dark and moves forward with conviction. But this feeling of ecstasy is short-lived, as Senua has to plow through literal hordes of monsters before fighting with Hela herself. There's literally no end to this boss fight, and only when you fall down to your injuries will you be taken to the game's conclusion. The actual act of fighting endlessly through these hordes after trudging through these hardships makes this mission a pretty emotional one. Grand Theft Auto 4, Mr. and Mrs. Bellick. While Grand Theft Auto 4 retains the series format of focusing its narrative on societal satires, it's also one of the darker narratives that deals with heavy subjects like the hardships of war and the cycle of revenge. Nico's cousin, Roman Bellick, acts as a comic relief for the entire duration of the narrative, which makes his sudden death on his wedding day a big shock for everyone invested in the game's story and characters. While it's possible to avoid Roman's death if you go down the revenge route, but in doing so you risk getting your girlfriend Kate killed, which makes this an emotionally wrecking mission either way. Marvel's Spider-Man Epilogue. Insomniac Games delivered the most mechanically sound rendition of our favorite webhead with Marvel's Spider-Man, and the experience remains equally competent in the narrative department. While there's no shortage of iconic moments and memorable boss fights, the most emotional mission has to be the epilogue. Peter Parker has to make the tough choice between reserving the Devil Breath anti-serum for his sick and old Aunt May, or donate the anti-serum for producing more doses of the same. Unsurprisingly, Peter chooses the latter of these options with teary eyes and a heavy heart, even after knowing very well that May wouldn't be able to survive without the immediate dose. After all, with great power comes great responsibility.
You're gonna be okay, ma'am. I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
You knew?
I've known for a while.
I never wanted you to worry.
I did. And I am so proud of you.
Max Payne 2, Love Hurts. Max Payne 2 is a deep dive into the frenzied and distorted mind of Max as he navigates his way through the workings and connections of the Inner Circle, an organization responsible for the death of his loved ones. Of course, this plot runs parallel with a love story that's ranging between Mona Sachs and Max Payne. The two plot lines intertwine and reach a common conclusion with the penultimate chapter, Love Hurts. Having known all about the Inner Circle, the two lovebirds infiltrate the organization's chief, Alfred Wooden's mansion. After making your way through hordes of henchmen, Mona knocks down Max and points a gun to his head, revealing that she was working with Woden all along. Unsurprisingly though, she is unable to pull the trigger due to her feelings for Max. Right then, Vlad emerges from the shadows and guns down Mona, sending Max into a state of grief and rage at the same time as he proceeds to take down Vlad once and for all. Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots: Old Son. MGS4 Guns of the Patriots is an interesting candidate for a narrative. The game serves the dual purpose of tying the Metal Gear lore all together and serves as an end to Snake's legacy. It stands to reason then the ending would be an emotional one, and it most definitely is. The Old Son chapter has two prominent emotional moments, the first being the microwave scene, which sees Old Snake literally crawling through a heated corridor as the extreme heat rips apart his Octo camo suit and destroys his solid eye. The other emotional story beat is the mano-a-mano fistfight against Liquid Ocelot at the top of Outer Heaven. It's an emotionally charged sequence, and is sure to remain in the heads of series fans long after the credits roll. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on GamingBolt.